Night 327. I don't know what's gonna happen. We got night 327. Morning now dawned. Scheherazade broke off from what she had been allowed to say. Then, when it was night 327th night, she continued. I have heard, O fortunate king, that Zumurrud said, if you disobey me, this will be an unlucky night for you. You must do what I tell you, and I shall then make you my appointed beloved and appoint you as one of my emirs. Ali replied, King of the age, what am I supposed to do to obey you? Undo your trousers and lie on your face, she said. This is something I have never done in my life. If you force me to it, I shall take my case against you to God on the day of resurrection. Take back everything that you have given me, and let me leave your city. He wept and sobbed, but she repeated, Undo your trousers, and lie on your face, or else I shall cut off your head. My goodness. When he did this, she got up on his back, and he felt something smoother than silk, softer than butter, so that he said to himself, This king is better than any woman. She waited for a time, lying on his back. Then she turned over on the couch, and Ali said to himself, Praise God, it seems as though he has not got an erection. Ali, she told him, it is a habit of mine that I cannot get an erection until my penis is stroked by hand. Come and do this until it rises, or else I'll kill you. She lay on her back and took his hand and set it on her vagina, which he found to be smoother than silk, white, large, and plump, and hot as the baths, or as the heart of a lover consumed by passion. This is an extraordinary thing, Ali said to himself. The king has a vagina. His own lust stirred, and with his penis stretching to its fullest. When Zumurrud saw that, she burst out laughing and said, Master, after all this, don't you recognize me? Who are you, king? He asked. To which she replied, I am your slave girl, Zumurrud. What's wrong with him? Goodness. This is not how it turned out. You said it would. My God. When Ali learned this, he kissed and embraced her, and then realizing that she really was his slave girl, he pounced on her like a lion on a sheep and plunged his rod into her scabbard. He kept on playing the roles of gatekeeper at her door and imam at her prayer niche, while she joined him in bending and prostrations, rising and falling, following her hymns of praise with lascivious wriggling and movement, so much so that the eunuchs heard her. They came and looked from behind the curtains to find the king lying with shar on top of her, the one grinding and moving around, and the other snorting and writhing. That is not how a man moves, they said. It may be that the king is a woman. But they kept the matter concealed and told no one. My goodness. The next morning, Zumurrud sent for the whole of her army and her state officials. When they had come, she told them, I am about to go to this man's land, so choose for yourselves someone to act in my place as your ruler until I come back to you. They obeyed her instruction while she began to equip herself for the journey, collecting provisions, money, supplies, treasures, together with camels and mules. Then she left the city and traveled on until she reached Shar's land, where he returned to his own house and then distributed gifts, alms, and donations. God granted him children by Zumurrud, and the two of them lived in enjoyment of perfect happiness until they were visited by this destroyer of delights and the parter of companions. Praise be to the one who remains unchanging. Glory be to God in all things. The story is also told that the commander of the faithful, Harun al-Rashid, was wakeful one night and, being unable to sleep, he kept turning from side to side, owing to his insomnia. When he became tired of it, he summoned Mazhar and told him to fetch someone who might relieve his condition. Master, said Mazhar, would you like to go into the palace garden and take pleasure from looking at the flowers and watching the sky, inlaid with stars, and the moon between them, gleaming on the water? That doesn't tempt me, replied the caliph. So Mazhar went on. In your palace, master, there are 300 concubines, each with her own apartment. Give instructions that each of them should be alone in her apartment so that you can go and watch them without their knowledge. Mazhar replied to Caliph, the palace is mine and the girls are my property, but none of this tempts me. Then summon the man of learning, proposed Mazhar, the philosophers and the poets, so that they may conduct investigations, recite poetry, and produce stories and histories. The Caliph made the same objection, and Mazhar went on to suggest, order your pages, your boon companions, and men of wit to come and entertain you with remarkable and witty tales. But the Caliph had rejected this suggestion too. Mazhar said then, cut off my head. Interesting story this time. Well, she better come up with another story soon. That's almost like the end of, I don't know if the Zumurrud story ends. Zumurrud and Shar got back together in night 327. Reading from Arabian Nights, Malcolm Lyons, Penguin Classics.